Cal Harris says he did not kill his wife, and his children agree. They believe the murder of their mom is an unsolved mystery. But prosecutors are convinced otherwise. So convinced, in fact, that they're putting this father of four on trial for a third time. How did it get to this point? Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
We're good. Yeah. When we sat down with Cal Harris, he was about to go on trial for the murder of his wife, Michele. So I asked the obvious question. Did you kill Michele?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the fact that I'm sitting here and having to go through this is just a horror show.
But if he sounds like he's been through this drill before, it's because he has.
Calvin Harris has already been convicted twice for her murder in 2007 and in 2009.
One day he's there, and then you go home next day and you ain't gonna see him for a while, and that's pretty crappy.
For his four children, this was a never-ending nightmare.
That it was unfair. We shouldn't have to live at home without both parents, especially because our dad didn't even do anything.
When you think about this trial coming up, do you think maybe there could be a third guilty verdict?
You try not to. You want to stay in good spirits and try not to think about that too much.
This is the third time Calvin Harris has been put on trial for the same crime.
Calvin Harris will face a third jury for the murder of his wife, Michele.
The number of trials here is very unusual, rare.
Cal and Michele met in 1987. They got married. He was a millionaire car salesman and she a pretty office worker.
She was just a stunningly beautiful girl. She was fun. She had a great personality.
They built this beautiful home in upstate New York and had 4 kids. But things started to fall apart.
You know, I was running the business and working a lot of hours. We weren't able to spend as much time together alone as we had before. And so that started to put a strain on our relationship.
They decided to get a divorce, but they were still living under the same roof.
I couldn't change diapers. I couldn't be here, with the kids during the day. So I just tried to provide for her as best I could.
But then on the night of September 11th in 2001, a night when most families were huddling together, Michele disappeared from the driveway of their house. You can hear her on voicemail. The growing concern of her friends as the hours passed. Police were called in to investigate. On this police videotape, you can see eerie signs of an idyllic family life interrupted. For the children, then aged 2 to 7, it was almost impossible to grasp.
So you don't have any memories of your mom, really? I mean, Taylor, you don't have any? You were 5.
Right, but
yeah,
15 years ago almost. It's a long time.
Their father was under suspicion.
I knew they were focusing on me. Whatever they asked for, I gave them. Phone records, financial information.
Police put Cal under constant surveillance.
How did you find out that they were tracking you?
I took my truck into my shop and I had one of my technicians put up on the lift to service it, normal maintenance. And he came in my office a little while later and he said, "You got to see this." We later determined that it was a tracking device that the state police had put on the truck.
And 4 years after her disappearance, Cal was arrested and charged with the murder of Michele. Police said they found blood in the house. And they found a witness who said they'd heard him threaten her.
There's no evidence that he ever threatened her in a way that really caused her fear. People say things during an argument or a divorce that they don't mean.
Do you guys remember the first time the indictment came down in 2005?
Yep, it was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was really sad. I felt like it wasn't fair because we didn't get to say bye. We just came home one day after school and our aunt, uncle, and our nanny were there and told us about it.
He had already been taken away.
Yeah, we didn't get to say bye to him.
Put on trial for murder, despite the fact that this case was largely circumstantial.
Neither a murder weapon nor her body has ever been found.
Still, a jury found him guilty. But just after the guilty verdict, a bombshell. A new witness, this man, came forward who said he saw Michele the morning after she was supposed to have been killed, arguing with another man at the foot of this driveway. Cal was granted a new trial, and again he was found guilty. And astonishingly, again the verdict was tossed out, this time because of procedural concerns. now on trial for the third time. This time, his kids, now 16, 17, 18, and 20, are with him.
We need to know what really happened to our mother. We know our dad had nothing to do with her disappearance. We also know there are people out there with information who can help us get answers.
Did they ever ask you, Daddy, did you kill Mom?
No, they've never asked me. They've never asked me. And I want to make sure that they don't ever ask me. I want to make sure that there's no doubt in their minds.
We feel like we need to tell people that he's actually a really great guy and there's no way he could have done something like this.
Did you ever ask him, what happened that day?
No,
Where
absolutely
were you?
not.
Didn't have
Why?
to. We didn't have any doubt he wasn't involved. He's been there for us through everything and given us every opportunity we've ever asked for and had our backs, and now it's kind of our turn to do the same for him.
His new lawyer says that he has new evidence that another man could have committed the crime.
I think that what the jury will see when they take a look at the entire case is that there were other leads that the police should have followed up.
But the third trial, now in its 11th week, hasn't been going quite the way he hoped it would. The judge allowed the testimony of the eyewitness who says he saw Michele at the foot of the driveway.
Kevin Tubbs is one of two people, actually, that saw the van outside the family home in the driveway with a truck and two individuals talking in the very early morning hours.
But the judge would not allow evidence related to a new suspect, saying much of it was circumstantial, while other portions were hearsay.
I can't get into the judge's mind as to why he's doing it. I can tell you that to say that the individual who was seen with the victim an hour before she went missing is not a suspect or shouldn't be a suspect, or the defense can't argue that he's a suspect, seems to belie logic.
And with only days to go, the fate of Cal Harris is once again about to go before a jury.
I've been ripped away from my kids 3 times now, from the indictment to the first trial to the second trial. Here we sit, having to face another trial. No one should have to go through this. No one.
For Nightline, I'm Matt Gutman in New York.